Hello again, welcome back to the 31 Films Challenge. I am the Geordie Geek, back from a little bit of a enforced hiatus, but the circumstances that brought it are something I'm going to stick with from now on. Basically what happened over the weekend, there's been no videos put up, as you know. I recorded one on Friday night, so I sat and watched my films then. Prior to going to the pub for the football on the Saturday, I did record my next vlog, but when I tried to upload it to YouTube, for some reason it didn't work, so I had to cancel that. And basically I didn't do one yesterday, just Sunday, because I didn't get to watch any scary films on Saturday night because I was dragged into Newcastle for a night out. So I left the house at 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and I believe I got in about 20 to 5 on Sunday morning, so not a lot of room for scary films in there. I did make up for it though, because yesterday I marathoned quite a few films, so I figured what I would do, seeing as though I am usually busy on weekends now, especially this weekend coming up. I'm going to Belgium for a beer festival on Thursday, so I'll not be having any time to watch scary films then. So like I said, I'm making up for it through the night this week and any other time, so I will have watched at least 31 scary films by the time November rolls round. But because of that, I've decided what I'll do is I'll do my usual nightly ones through the week, Monday to Friday. I'll not record and upload any on the weekend, and what I'll do is every Monday night I'll do basically one big recap video of what I did, like the things I watched on the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday night. It'll probably be easier because these videos, they're not very long, but they do tend to take a lot of time to upload and stuff, so it's probably easier doing it that way. Like I said, a bit of a shame that the video that I recorded on Saturday didn't go up because it was probably about 15 minutes long. So what I'm going to have to do is just recap what I watched on the Friday night. The first film was Cronos, a Guillermo del Toro film. The gist of that is they find this ancient artifact that basically gives the person immortality to a point, and it's basically the story about this, and it's an old ailing granddad. He finds it and uses it and starts getting his youth back and stuff, living his life, but then it's a bit like Benjamin Button, it passes the point of having his life and things start to take a turn for the worst for him. Really good film. As with every Del Toro film, the backstory to it is pretty solid, and then he works on everything from there. I think it's from 1993, I think, so some of the effects do look a little bit dated, like spoiler alert, when the granddad starts like decomposing a bit, it does look a bit kooky, but I don't think it really detracts from the overall story. There's a nice little interplay between the main guy, which is the granddad, and his granddaughter, which is something you don't usually get in these type of films, like a different relationship with a family member, which is good. So I have really enjoyed watching that film, as with all Del Toro's back catalogue. Devil's Backbone is a film that you should watch as well. I think that was before Chronos, but don't quote us on that because it might have been the afterward. But I think for that one I'm going to say a solid 7.5. 7.5 ancient artifacts out of 10. So yeah, that was good. Second film that I watched on the Friday night was Wreck, which is a found footage horror film, another Spanish one. I did mention that there was an American remake of it. That is called Quarantine, so check that out as well because that's a really good film. Not as good as Wreck, but you know, still it's good for a remake, so get watching that. It's a really intense film, Wreck. There's a lot of impact put on like the darkness of the visual. It's something that you need to watch in a fully darkened room, no lights, no glare or anything, so you can really concentrate on what you're seeing in front of you, because they play up the darkness to a really good level, because you're looking, there's the action that's happening on the screen that you can see, but then kind of peripheral vision and stuff you see. Did I see something in the background? Or was that just my mind playing tricks on us? So you're always kind of a bit tense because of that, the way your mind's working watching this. But I think the story itself is pretty solid as well, just as with Chronos. A few really good jump scares as well, but I think the main tone of the film is the thing that really sells it into a really good level. One thing that I will mention, with foreign films, I usually make a point of saying watch it in the native language with subtitles. I know not everyone likes watching films with subtitles because some people say it takes you out of the film, having to try and read that, doing two things at once. But a lot of the time you get the full effect of the film with the natural dialogue. It's just a human thing that if you see someone's mouth talking, like someone's mouth moving, sorry, and the noises that are coming out don't match with the movements, it kind of, there's something, it's a bit like the uncanny valley, you don't know what the deal is. With this film, however, I would recommend watching it twice. If you're not very used to watching subtitled films, or if you just want to concentrate fully on the visuals, watch it dubbed, so with the English audio put over the top, and then go back and watch it with the subtitles so you get to soak it all in, because it is a film that relies heavily on you watching and seeing if there's something there, something behind us, holy crap, what's that? So definitely worth a couple of watches, English, dubbed, if you're not comfortable with subtitles. But again, just like with Cronos as well, any foreign film, you either like subtitles or you don't. So it's a personal choice. I choose subtitles, but everyone's got their own thing. I think Wreck, another solid film, like I said. I think I'm going to give that, I think I'm probably going to go 7.5 for that one as well. 7.5 empty rooms. So I'm running out of things to make up for these ratings, so it'll probably just be going back to normal 7 out of 10s numbers. So that was my Friday night. As I said, on Saturday I didn't get to see any scary films because I was out for 14.5 hours destroying my liver. The football wasn't a horror show either because we won. The second half was a bit horrible, but we got the points, whatever. That's a separate issue. So Sunday was a day of making up for it. Just lying around in the house, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I watch 6 films? I think I watched 6. I'll try and remember which order I did them in. I've got a few of them here, DVD, streamed a few of them as well. The first 2 that I did was something that I said I was going to do, and do like a double barrel one. So that was 28 days later and 28 weeks later. Watched them one after the other, and I don't want to do each film individually. I'll mention bits about them, but it's really interesting watching them back to back because the tone of the films are just completely different. It's a bit, now I'm not comparing them directly to these films that I'm going to say, but it's a bit like the difference between Alien and Aliens. Like the first one was more of a tense, atmospheric. Yes, it was still scary and stuff, but it was more of the thriller. And then you go to the second film, and it's balls to the wall action. So with 28 days later, you had the unknown about what things were going to be like, and it was focusing more on the humanity side of things. The fact that if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a really, really good horror film. But it's not so much about the zombies. The first 20 or so minutes, yeah, obviously it is, but it's more what happens to humanity when faced with these type of things. The fact that the scariest thing in the film are the soldiers, which is a really cool twist on the zombie thing, because yeah, but everything's got a message, like Dawn of the Dead, consumerism and whatnot. But it was a really gritty film, and then you go to 28 weeks later, which it does try and carry some of the same themes, following the 2 kids and the rest of the group. But basically, I think it's more of not a hack and slashing, because there's no hack and slashing, but it does focus a lot more on the action side of things. You've got Jeremy Renner doing his role that he plays in every film, being an army guy that can shoot things, and what's her name? Something Rose, or the woman that's in it anyway is really good. The two kids do put really good performances in, especially the girl. So I think their performance in that as well. Robert Carlyle's good in everything anyway, but his zombie was a bit. I don't know. It kind of pushed the boat out a little bit, because you had this guy going around, turned into a zombie, but he did seem to still have a little bit, not humanity left in him, but a bit of his conscience, shall we say? Because it just seemed like he was hunting the kids down, which I'm pretty sure zombies wouldn't do. But anyway, so 2 really good films there. I still prefer 28 Days Later, but Weeks Later is a good film in its own right, and shouldn't always be compared to that one. So I think 28 Days, I'm going to give it 8.5. And 28 Weeks, I think I'll probably go for 8 on that one. So yeah, that's good. After that, it's another film that I've watched a couple of times, Exorcism of Emily Rose. It's a bit of a different twist on exorcism type films, because you get the exorcism side of things, but it's a courtroom drama as well. It's based on a true story, so this is a case that's happened, and investigating who's responsible for the death of Emily Rose. Was it the priest performing the exorcism? Was it Satan and stuff? So it's really good. It's a film that messes with your mind more than anything. Like I said, you get some of the exorcism scenes that are just a bit creepy anyway, with hamster face on the floor like that. So there are scares with that, the exorcism side of things, but just the general pervasive creepiness of it. There's a part where the lawyer who's representing the priest, she wakes up at 3 in the morning, which is like the witching hour, and the clocks have stopped, and you can smell gas and stuff. So after watching that, it's like nothing happened. There's no devil standing in the kitchen. It's all left to your mind. So after watching this film, if you wake up at 3 o'clock, put your head back under the covers, because you are not going anywhere. That will just creep you out seriously. But again, another really good film. After you've seen it a few times, the scares don't work anymore, really, to be honest, because you know what's coming. It's still creepy, but I think I'm going to give that a 7. Still a good film. I'm trying to vary my ratings up, because I'm getting a lot of 7s, 7.5, 8s, but that's because most of them are still good films, but not amazing. But anyway, those were the first 3 that I did. After that, I watched one of my personal favourites. I streamed it, The Cabin in the Woods. It's a really good film. It's kind of like this generation's version of Scream, a very meta horror film type of thing, deconstructing all the tropes from other horror films, and of course Whedon was involved in that, and being a Whedonite, that made us want to watch it. But it's just, everything about this film is just really cool, because they are so self-aware, and the fact that they turn all these tropes on the head, and the ones that they don't turn on the head, they come up with really clever ways of explaining them, like the dumb blonde and the alpha male and stuff, like pumping this gas into the cabin. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to say too much about it, because once someone tells you, then it kind of spoils the surprise of watching it yourself. So I'm not going to go into any spoilers on Cabin in the Woods. I recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, you know exactly what I mean. Cabin in the Woods for me is a solid 9. Really, really fun film. The next one I watched, and the one that I streamed, is Trick or Treat, or Trick or Treat. It's kind of like a horror anthology film. There's 4 or 5 little stories within the whole film, but when you watch them, they all tie together in little ways. So you could be watching one story, that will conclude, and then it cuts to the next story, which will feature like even just a little cameo from the people from the first one. And once you get all the way through the film, you'll be sitting there going, he was over there before, and it's all come together. It's all based with people on one street. on Halloween night, and some of the stories are really cool. I mean, there's one that's a bit kind of, but they're all very different stories within themselves, and I think it's quite cool how they do it. I don't know if it was based on a comic or if the comic came out after the film, but you can definitely get like a kind of a comic sensibility about it. It's very, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. I had one, but then it's gone. It's very pulpy. Is that a word? Decide for yourselves. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, don't listen to it. Really good film. I'm going to give that one an 8, just because it's a bit different. Yeah, we get a lot of horror anthology films now with like VHS and VHS 2, but it's a really cool way to do it, and it's not too scary, but there are some bits where it's a bit grisly and some good jump scares in it. Pumpkin Baby, keep an eye out for Pumpkin Baby, freaky. So that was the penultimate film that I watched, and then I went and lay in bed and kind of kept it still in a bit scary, but it wasn't. It was more of a comedy. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I don't know how many people have heard of that because it had a very small release when it came out. I don't think it was at the cinemas for very long at all. It was kind of like a little indie film. It's, again, all the names have just gone straight out of my head. Really good. It's like it follows two stereotypical rednecks who going out into their vacation home in the woods, and a group of college kids who are the stereotypes, and they assume that these two redneck guys are going to be like, I'm going to kill you, hillbillies, but they're not. And basically a series of unfortunate events befalls the college kids, and wires get crossed, and they think that the rednecks are the ones doing these things when they're not. And it is really funny. If anyone's seen Reaper, the guy that plays Sock, he's in it, and Alan Tudyk, that's the name, Alan Tudyk, the legend. He was in Firefly, and I believe he's in is it Suburgatory on E4? Yeah, so he's really cool. It was a really funny film. Like I said, it wasn't scary. There's some gory bits in it because of these accidents, but so it's not really a scary film. Still something you should watch because it's a little indie thing and it's a fun. So give them your money, buy the DVD, stream it, whatever. I think I'll give that one an 8 as well. And that's basically everything I watched this weekend. I'm only going to watch one film tonight because it's already a bit late now. I'm getting home from work late on public transport. I've got a stack of my pull list to go through, so I don't really know what I'm going to watch yet. What have I got on the floor? I'll tell you what, I'll watch Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. It's another one of my old favourites. I went through a phase years ago where I wanted to get all of the Friday the 13th on DVD basically. I stopped because a lot of them are crap, but you still got to love the original one really, that and Jason X, which is just hilarious. But so yeah, I'm going to watch Friday the 13th. Everyone that's watching this should have probably already seen that. It's a cult classic, so yeah, I'll be watching that, and I will be back tomorrow night with another video. It shouldn't be up as late as usual because I'm going to be playing hockey, so keep an eye out for that. And until then, have a good night. See you later.